My name is Erika Rossi, and I'm an Italian interaction designer currently working in Barcelona. I've always been very fascinated by the digital space, from Internet of Things, which is a very hot topic right now, to any other kind of physical and tangible interfaces. And that's why at the end of my master program in interaction design at the University of Venice, I decided to explore the intersection between these digital interfaces and illustration, which is my other passion. I wanted to create something meaningful for someone, and so I decided to come up with this idea of Mirabilia, which is a family of 3 interactive dolls for hospitalized children. In order to let you get immediately the mood of my project, I would like to start with a short video introduction. So what is it? Mirabilia is a family, as I said, of 3 interactive dolls that through different interaction and behaviors would like to improve the relationship children have inside the hospital with other people, such as doctors, psychologists, and all the other patients of the hospital, and offering them a kind of additional and alternative emotional support. So I started my research at the Mayer Children's Hospital of Florence when I got the chance to interview several doctors there. And from their feedback, it emerged that children with chronic disease usually are forced to go through a very tricky psychological situation, and that forced them to undergo therapy. So, from their feedback, I identified the 3 most critical psychological states for those children, which are the feeling of guilt, loneliness, and shyness. So that's why I decided to design these 3 toys. So the first one is called Odo, and it will help children through self-reflection to fight the feeling of guilt. The second one is called Lucio, and it will establish a one-to-one relationship between 2 children in the same hospital, allowing them to fight the feeling of loneliness. And the third one, Tello, it will help a group of children to fight together the feeling of shyness. So my ideal target age for this project is for children between 7 and 12 years old, because they are already aware in a way of their situation, and they kind of understand why they're there. So the first doll is called Odo, and as I said, it will help children to fight the feeling of guilt, especially during the first period of hospitalization. Children are quite confused, and they don't quite understand why they are there. They think they are there for some kind of punishment their parents want to give them for something they did because they didn't know the truth. And in this way, Odo will help them as a very special secret keeper to let them to confide their fears and anguishes. And it will become a very important intermediary between the work of the psychologist and the child. So the ideal context of use of this doll will be inside the bedroom of the child during some kind of tricky moment of the day. And this is how it works.
If Odo doesn't move, all the outputs are turned off. But when Davide does the hand-ear gesture and whispers in Odo's ear, his secret is recorded. Odo's cheeks immediately blush and start to blink gently. The next day, Davide is playing with Odo, but he doesn't do the hand-ear gestures, so nothing is recorded. A week later, Odo is in pain because the secret is still being kept. Its cheeks are red and blink quickly. Davide decides to let Odo tell the secret. He gently knocks its back 3 times. Odo reveals the secret, and its cheeks turn softly off.
So, as you can see from the video, all the gestures that I try to use in here are kind of anthropomorphic gesture that we are used to use and see. For instance, like lifting the ear to whisper something, or the blushing of the cheeks to translate the feeling of embarrassment, or even knocking the bed to like spit out something, are all like very anthropomorphic gesture that children immediately get, even if they are nonverbal. So in this case, you can imagine that if the secret is revealed, like the fear is revealed in the presence of a psychologist, the benefit for both of them would be very significant and relevant, because it will allow children to be more aware of their situation and the doctor to have an additional tool to help the children.
Audio test.
It's like the working prototype.
Audio test.
The second doll is called Lucio, and it will establish a one-to-one relationship between 2 friends inside the hospital. Especially, like it's suitable for all period of hospitalization, but especially when children start to feel like lost in a way, they don't have any reference points in the hospital, and they start like to lose like all their like daily routine, their behaviors, and these kind of things. So in this way, this doll will help to strengthen like the mutual support that starts in a friendship between 2 children inside the hospital that share the same condition. So Lucio works just during nighttime from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. And this is the ideal context of use, so during the night when especially children feel scared of the dark. This is the behaviors.
Carolina is scared of the dark, so she squeezes her Lucio. The Lucio of Alice, Carolina's best friend, detects that call for help, and its left hand flashes red. When Alice holds that hand, the flashing calms down and transmits her presence to Carolina's Lucio, which glows blue and starts to pure. During the night, Alice releases her Lucio's hand. Its light slowly dims, and the glow and pure of Carolina's Lucio also slowly diminish.
So the interaction I use for this doll are, for instance, like the hug as a way to communicate sympathy to someone else, holding the hand as a way to reassure like a friend or something that, like someone that need your reassurance. And I use the light and the purr like to let the other child feel the tangible presence of the friend. So all these interactions are non-intrusive haptics that doesn't disturb the child during the night. And all the interaction will allow the children to really perceive the presence of someone else, so they can send this call for help and receive a tangible feedback. The last doll I'm going to show you is Tello, and this is the most funnest and playful one. And it's used by a group of children in order to fight the feeling of like isolation and shame caused by the chronic disease. In fact, like all these children during their hospitalization are like forced to face a lot of shame because of their condition, and they start to having hard time in making relationship with the other people. So in this case, Tello will be a very helpful storyteller, using sounds as a way to let children build a story together in a very collaboratively way, and trying to create a very like relaxed environment. This is how it works. So the ideal context of use will be, for instance, like the waiting room when children are waiting for their daily visit. So every child has his own doll, and they share together a set of 16 lollipops, a very colorful one, and every color it represents like a specific part of the story.
Fabio, David, and Alice want to play with their tellos. The tellos detect each other and make a sound. After a few seconds, the tongue of one tello glows in a random color. Fabio puts the lollipop of the corresponding color on Tello's tongue, and Tello reproduces the related sound. Fabio starts to tell a story based on the sound. After a few seconds, Fabio's light starts to blink, then turns off. His turn is finished. Randomly, another tongue turns on in a random color, indicating the next turn. It's Alice's turn. She places a red lollipop on her Tello's tongue, and the related sound is played. So Alice continues Fabio's story as she wants. Now, Davide's Tello turns on in yellow, but he uses the wrong lollipop. So his Tello makes an error sound. The children finish the game by shaking their tellos. And when all the tellos have been shaken, they turn themselves off and reset the system.
So in these cases, I decide to use the lollipop and the very physical tongue of the doll as a metaphor to indicate this, like eating and replaying the sound. And using the sound as a way to tell the story, let the children don't be too attached to some verbal communication, but it lets them to completely imaginate the story themselves. So storytelling has been proven as a very like useful and efficient method, and is already in use in a lot of hospitals because it will allow the patients to project their needs in a very unconscious way, and in this way also the doctors as like an additional tool to help the patients. So the idea is for them to start creating the story based on the sounds in a very like cooperative way. Okay, so right now, well, this is my project, is a family of 3 interactive dolls that will allow children to improve their relationship with other patients inside the hospital. And I conducted some user tests, and they were like very successful because children gave me a lot of positive feedback, and they immediately get the meaning of the dolls even without any verbal instruction from me, because of the usage of the different fabrics that indicates like the interactive parts of the doll. And for like the future development, I would like to explore like new psychological states in order to design other dolls and like fulfill new needs and eventually reach other group ages.